UA1AK4. This is the code that covers accident reporting. So accident reporting, the what which ones you have to report should you have an accident with your drone. This is largely covered under FAR 107.9. And I say it that way because there are some other documents that do elaborate on this, but and I'll mention that a little bit here in just a second. But the core of the information that you need to know, especially on test day, is in FAR 107.9. And in FAR 107.9, it says that accidents must be reported within 10 calendar days if that accident results in an injury where there's loss of consciousness or serious injury. Now, of course, what is serious injury? And a definition of this that you might be tested on would be hospitalization for head trauma, for broken bones, and for lacerations requiring suturing. And I'm actually also going to throw in here or more. And the reason is because in the document that the FAA uses to mention those particular things, it actually uses that very famous phrase of, including but not limited to. So, and that comes from AC 107. It's an advisory circular. Basically, that's a document that elaborates on federal aviation regulations, kind of gives you some more information, some better definitions per se. And so the only point that I say that is that we understand that the list of things that could qualify as serious injuries, should you ever find yourself dealing with this, could go beyond those things. However, the ones that are mentioned, they are those specific things I have here on the screen: head trauma, broken bones, and lacerations requiring suturing, are very specifically mentioned in AC 107. Therefore, those items may very well be on the test. Those all would qualify as serious injuries, which requires notification or reporting to the FAA within 10 calendar days. Okay, so what else needs to be reported within this time frame? And that would be damage to any property other than the drone, unless the cost of repair does not exceed $500, or the fair market value does not exceed $500 if it's a total loss. Now, I want to stop for a second because a lot of times you'll hear people say that you don't need to report it unless the cost is over $500 in one form or another. And notice how, and I've worded it here a little bit differently because the FAA language is that everything has to be reported as the standard unless, and then they give you the exceptions. They list the $500 rule as an exception. Now, again, when you're out in the field, both of those things in the end, on a very practical level, no matter how you word it, means exactly the same thing as far as what you actually do in regards to reporting. I'm writing it like this to be consistent with the FAA's language and how they put it up there. So just understand that distinction, that the FAA looks at it as in everything, any damage other than the drone has to be reported unless the cost does not exceed $500, or if it's a total loss of the fair market value does not exceed $500. So, in summary, the magic time frame is 10 calendar days. Accidents need to be reported within 10 calendar days if there is a serious injury or if there is damage to other property other than the drone, and the magic number for that is $500.